fan that I am, I want to. We all kind of want to talk about it. So, NCAA, if you don't know, was made by EA, and this time around they did not make it because of everything that was coming out. The Some of the players were upset that EA was basically making money off of their image, although they didn't get credit for it because they're a collegiate athlete. And the school was making money because they had ties in with EA. But a lot of the players were upset, and that's why it wasn't a thing because it came a legal matter. Now, recently, a group of players have come out and spoken against it, saying that they were completely okay, that they were in a video game and not really getting credit for it, but they knew that they knew that it was them, and they were in a video game. And who doesn't want to be in a video game? I mean, how cool is that? So that's basically their ideal of it. They was completely okay with not being paid for it, whatever. That they've always looked forward for this game to come out. They would play, like when during training sessions when they're practicing, had a break or whatever. Um, so we're going to dive into this topic. So, Bill, you want to take this one and tell me what you feel about EA not making it, regardless of the legal matter,
Right.
or you can drop into the legal matter if you want to. Um, Give us your take on what is going on with the players coming out saying, "Hey, it's a bad thing. Hey, it's a good thing."
Yeah.
And what do you think?
First of all, I mean, I don't think there should have been issue to begin with. Honestly, I mean, it's something that it's been the game has been out there for how many years now? I mean, I think I remember playing it on Super Nintendo.
It's
Uh, if I'm not mistaken.
it's been around. I'd actually have to Google it to see how long it's been a thing.
And I remember playing like NCAA basketball on Super Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it's all about players talking about wanting to get royalties because of their likeness. How close these players are in the game to them, and they say, "Hey, I should be getting a piece of the action," and all that. So now, NCAA's made a big stink out of it, and say, if this is going to happen, we're not going to. This game is not going to be made. And I just totally disagree, with how that was handled and the players, of course, and it's all stemmed from as well as all these issues with agents and stuff like that, people receiving benefits and royalties from, illegally,
Right.
while they're still a college athlete,
So
and that a lot of this had to do with it as well.
so not to cut you off, Bill, but here's your time frame. The first game got released in 1993 as Bill Walsh's college football. It went to Bill Walsh College Football 95. 96 it was released under College Football USA. 97 it was College Football USA 97. And then in 98 it was officially called NCAA football.
Okay.
But all that's the timeline release on all of them. So since 1993 has it been a thing, from 1993 all the way to 2014. So there's your timeline. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so it was around then, around the time of around.
Sega Genesis is what it was released on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
The very
okay.
The Sega
Maybe I'm
Genesis.
thinking of NCAA basketball, which we're on the same subject. We're talking about
right,
NCAA
Yeah.
games, period.
right.
So, but I just I'm glad they brought it. It's gonna be making its way back. Um, I never I didn't agree with it going away to begin with. And as I say, all they have to do is really just kind of get rid of how close these players actually look to the actual player, and that maybe the numbers, like they always did. They never had names on jerseys. They never did use real names. They never did
No.
use the real. I don't know if they used the same numbers.
They
Um,
for the most part they used the same roster. It would be
Yeah.
like, but it would say like quarterback number 10 or
yeah,
whatever. But they did
right,
they did have an edit feature where you can go in and actually change their name, which is what
right,
people did. And when they get the game, they would go in, update the rosters, and you could download from Live or PSN, whatever you're playing with, and it would say their names if you put it in like that.
right.
Um, but yeah, That was more for like the hardcore fans. I never personally did that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, that was just more there for your personal amusement. You can use the actual player's name. You could put something completely different. You could just use play names, something funny. Like name one, Bill Buckner or something like that, and then name the other one, I don't know, Tickle Me Elmo. Just
Nice. Can
you know,
the
I,
Tickle Me Elmo be the linebacker or
Yeah, I was about to say Tickle Me Elmo.
Tickle Me
It's better be a
Elmo.
linebacker.
definitely
Better
like
be 6'3", 240.
Yeah. Name Tickle Me.
definitely.
But yeah, I just I don't know.
I can
It,
see some big dude. They call me Tickle.
yeah,
Like some.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. It's just I don't know. I as I said, I don't agree how it was. They handled it to begin with and took it off altogether. I thought that should never happen. And but I'm glad they're rethinking it and really gonna. Are they officially going to re-release it?
um, there are talks about it. I'm sure it will happen because
Yeah.
honestly, it was a big seller for EA. I think they just um,
They probably don't want to get into the legal aspect. I
yeah,
mean,
they put it.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it on. They
that's
put it
the
on
whole
hold.
thing. I mean, it's all small print stuff. Is pretty
Yeah.
much basically what they're saying is
And
why
they're
the
I
game's
mean,
not being made.
yeah. Now all these players or something like that would the game EA or whatever's going to have to do is they're all going to have to get their own little form and sign it and say I consent to this and that blah
But
blah
I
blah.
mean,
And
yeah.
if they don't sign, say all right, well we'll just make a player that looks completely different, a completely different number, and have John Doe for their name, and you're gonna have the same stats, it's just not gonna be you. So I mean, it's like so these players are stuck here. It's like all right, so do I want to have my a player with looking just like me playing in the game? I would want to. I'm like EA, let me sign the form. But you're gonna get these players that saying, heck no, I know I'm gonna go pro, so give me some money.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them, I mean, it's about building a brand. I mean,
Yeah,
they work really hard in college. They,
yeah,
are scouted out by NFL teams. They're going to be in the draft. I mean, college is like where it starts for them,
but you never,
professionally
yeah, but
and how they conduct themselves and everything like that.
right,
So, I mean, being in a game is also a big seller. You know, building your brand.
right,
Um, it's all part of that. And even though they're not getting compensated, which I think is ridiculous, I think
right,
student athletes should be compensated for their time and effort, at least at some level. The fact that everyone else can go to college, go to work, also have a job and go to school. A lots and so many people, work and go to school at the same time. You
but
know.
a lot of these student athletes, now so they're not professional athletes just yet, but but honestly, a lot of them are some of these kids are getting partial scholarships, getting full scholarships. I think that's
Yeah,
compensation enough. And I mean, so a lot of them aren't as well, and they get your red
yeah,
shirt,
you're getting
your walk.
school paid for, but then I mean, a lot of people, also, it's just like the how are their needs being met? I guess is what I'm saying. Outside from school, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't feel like they should be compensated, but maybe they got their room board, they got their food, they got their transportation taken care of, they have their schooling, their degrees going to be paid, everything's paid for. I think that's compensation enough. But I mean, you could probably disagree with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I think it's just because the colleges can really write those off. I mean, they
Yeah,
get so much money, and I mean, freaking, what is it? The head coaches in college get paid more than the head coaches in the NFL.
yes, yeah,
The big name colleges,
yeah. The
yes.
the big
Yeah, the big name colleges. I'm just
I'll
saying,
agree
like
with that.
That SEC though.
university. Yeah,
So
Hell
well, you
State.
got
I mean, University of Michigan has they call it the Big House. It has 109,000, like 901 capacity.
Yeah. you take
and,
somebody.
and they fill that up.
You
You
take
know,
you take somebody from the University of Tennessee, which can hold over 100K. I saw an interview with one of their players, and he turned NFL, and their stadium holds like 60, 70 something thousand. He was like, I felt like I was playing like high school,
Yeah.
going from college to NFL. But to a point, college sports in general is a business, right? So they're going to make that money. Like you're saying, like giving people scholarships and whatever, they're getting that money back. So if you give, this blue chip athlete a scholarship, people are going to come to watch that guy play. They're going to buy tickets to see that guy play. So they're getting that money back, plus more.
yeah,
Right.
Um,
Right.
they're not running out of money
yeah,
anytime.
no, money is not the problem with the schools, especially when it comes to. But the thing about it is, especially like to the point at the same time, most of the football sales will drive other sports that you can have but don't have as much of a following, like
Yeah.
women's lacrosse. There are women out there that like to play lacrosse. It's not, you don't see it on TV very much until the Final Four happen or whatever for college, unless you have like some kind of sports package where you can actually watch it. But it's a thing, and it's a thing that's driven because people want to play it, and it's organized. But if it was to stand alone, it would fold if they didn't have that money from the football.
Yeah.
And some other, I guess, according to, if you ask Panic, depends on where you go to college. Sometimes that sport is hockey, but there's always
Yep.
a prominent sport that's fueling everything else, and it's because of those athletes that people are getting recruited by, and whatever. So they're getting a free ride, room and board, like Craig said, but because they can't get paid any extra money, how much money? How much money would anybody? What would anybody really do to say, hey, go over here, do this thing, and you'll get a college degree, and you don't have to pay us a dime? Who would not take that?
Right.
Seriously, who would not take that? Because if you go to college and you pay yourself through college between books and student loans and all the things that you have to do to get through it. My brother did this, and he went to college for 6 years, and he was in debt for, I'm not going to say how long because he's my brother, but
Yeah.
he had to pay off all them loans after he
lot.
got out of college
Yeah.
Yep.
for a while, and it's definitely more than like buying a very nice vehicle.
Or
So,
two.
so what are you
Or-
what are you
or-
really complaining about when you have a free ride?
Yeah.
What are you really complaining about?
I think the issue with the video game definitely runs a lot deeper and really comes to the root of the controversy between the student athletes, the NCAA, the schools, and honestly, it's been a debate that's been going on since it's definitely came to a head in the early '90s. I would have to say, from what I remember, and should the student athletes be paid to play, or should they remain quote unquote amateur status? And I think that the video game is just one more extension off of that topic that is very divisive. A lot of different views on there, and I think that something is going to probably have to be done pretty soon here. Just as far as the way everything is structured, I personally, my own personal opinion on the situation is the NCAA is one of the most corrupt organizations that is able to exist, and we all kind of accept it for what it is because there's really no other precedent set for this type of activity. And I think just the likeness of the players, and it's just another extension of that. Should they be paid to play, or should they, remain quote unquote amateur status?
Well,
And it definitely goes pretty deep on there.
the thing about it is there's nothing else to govern it, right? So the NCAA governs itself. So when something kind of comes up, they're like,
Exactly.
oh, well, maybe we won't do that anymore, or whatever. There's no,
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. Well, you're talking about amateur athletes, so I'll throw this out and see what you think about it. So all the people who are coming out saying, hey, I don't care, it's cool that I'm on a video game. I don't care that I don't get paid for it. I just think it's cool that I'm there. in the game. So for college athletes, everybody who plays sports in high school is not able to play in college. And then everybody who plays college athletics is not up to standards to play in the NFL. So for some, playing college football is it. That's like the pinnacle of their life. And they get to be on a video game. I mean, that's like one more feather in the hat. So, where's that road take people? You know?
But also, I think paid to play. Honestly, that could it's totally going to change everything up and create a distraction for the players and the teams themselves. And especially you come in as a promising athlete and all of a sudden you're getting paid to play. That's gonna. I think that might affect their drive and their competitive drive. And they're kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm getting my money, this and that, blah blah blah. I'm gonna try my hardest not to get hurt. So but then you got the red shirt freshman who's busting his ass and working his way from the ground up. And I mean, there's been lots of proven athletes to do that and have been very successful in the NFL. And it's just kind of like you put them side by side. One's paying his way through college, not on a scholarship and this and that, and the other one's got that, and he's getting paid by the team to play. I don't know. I think that creates some animosity and be a distraction between fellow student athletes.
Well, I have said it once and I'll say it again. I'm not opposed to schools paying people to play a sport if it's very organized. Like in my mind, it would have to be like almost an allowance, really. Okay, not really like a paycheck, but some money. If you want to do that, I'm okay with it. But everybody on the team, regardless of role or regardless of who they were, would have to make the same amount of money. Then it doesn't create any type of separation. It doesn't, everybody's making the same thing. It's not really a whole lot of money, but they get a little something to eat on, or go buy a copy of the new NCAA game. But I believe, in my mind, that's the only way it would work. You couldn't pay the starting quarterback more than a defensive lineman or whatever. I think in college it would all have to be the same. That it wouldn't have that animosity that you're talking about, Bill.
Yeah.
That's the only way I see it working.
I think it would be the same across all sports as well. Football players, swimmers, lacrosse players.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it would have to be completely even.
True too.
Yeah.
True too. But
because they dedicate their the same amount of time. Swimming. I was in swimming in high school, and I was, I was in the pool before school, 5:40 to 6:40, and then I was after school 3 to 5, and then during winter break I had 2-a-days, so I was in the pool from 10 to 2 and then 2 to 4. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and if it was a pay to play situation, I think it should be if it ever came to that, I would hope it would be more of like incentive based, to where they see you busting your hump and they see your stats going up and this and that, blah blah blah. You're getting some incentive. You're already like, if you do this, all right, we're going to give you a little bit more of this these royalties, compensation, whatever. And that might not interfere with the player's competitive drive and might actually have them pushing themselves to better themselves.
That's similar to like what they do in the NFL. They have guaranteed money, and then if you
you
go to playoff or whatever.
Yeah,
you get
but
extra.
then at that point, then you would have to have contracts. You would have to have someone working for you to work to.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
and then every college athlete has a lawyer, and that's
yeah, and then every college athlete has a lawyer, and then some that can afford it. What do you do then? You would have to have it the same. I don't think there could ever be incentives, because you can't say that. Someone could say, "Hey, I've been working just as hard as this other person is." You know what I mean? You can't and that's how they feel. That's how they interpret it. You can't say anything. against
it can't
that,
be a hard line.
depending on the stats or whatever. But I mean, still,
But at the same time, it would have to be universal, right? Because there are colleges, of course, who make more money than others off of whatever. So, like, a big name school may be able to pay their players like, I don't know, $500, $1,000 a year or whatever, and another school would not be able to pay that much because they don't have that much income. So it would have to be like every college paying the same amount of money, not just percentage based. Um, it gets really weird. I think when you start talking about that, like
Yeah.
I'm not really against the college people making money, but it gets really weird to make it fair
yeah,
amongst everybody
Yeah.
because
there would be a
I really,
lot of
I don't.
stuff to make it happen. Let's just
Yeah.
say that.
well,
And I've definitely put a decent amount of thought into, as it does come to the forefront of, college sports in general. I've definitely put in some thought, and I still don't really know where I stand on the matter. I mean, the issue is that these athletes are being put on the national stage for a lot of sports. Um, they are amateur athletes. They are being provided an education, but there are organizations and schools making a ton of money
Yeah,
um, off of these athletes who are not, receiving the compensation for that. And I understand that that is, a huge point of pain for those athletes that see all of this money, millions of dollars coming in for some sports. But at the same time, it's you're still an athlete, still a student, and I really don't know where I completely stand on the situation, but it's something that I think is going to change in the next couple of years.
I think you're right, but at the same time, like I've been talking about how I'm okay, and I can go either way. Like I'm okay with people and getting paid, and I'm also on the side of where like why would you pay them? I can make an argument for both. It just gets really weird, I think, when you start talking about that, because
Yeah,
to my point, I was
yeah.
saying you had to pay every athlete the same amount of money for it to be fair, and then the football player is going to be like, oh well, our annual income, the money that we take in, so we should get paid more. So you're, it's always going to be
yeah,
there's going to be an argument to where one thing should be more than other, and it's just
esports.
never going to work
Yeah,
unless everything is segregated, right? So like each player gets a percentage amount of the money comes in off of ticket sales, and then you get down to like I was saying earlier, um, those sports are not really out there. Like a water polo or something like this doesn't draw 100,000 people because you just can't fit that many in the arena that it's played in.
or four,
You
four
know,
people. Matter.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
it just gets really really weird.
yeah, it's a complicated topic, and I think that's where the issue with the video game stems from is just the indecision and really the all the questions that revolve around the athletes and where the money's going and whether or not people that are playing these sports deserve it. So I think as that's all figured out, I think that should kind of set the tone for future NCAA games. Um, and honestly, it's been years since I've played an NCAA basketball or football game, but there is plenty of likeness, even if they don't have their last names on the jersey. They're representing those players, and
well, sure they are.
it's like the school and the NCAA, and then adding on a game developer on top of that, making money off of your likeness, and I see where the I don't know the concern comes from.
Yeah.
So NCAA hockey game, does Panic own it or not?
Oh, as
Oh,
soon as that ever is even thought about. However, I would be one of four people that would purchase that. So
one of four.
What a four.
what I would love
They'd
to see,
make it for
the dream would be actually finding the ability to find the licensing and put that NCAA league much into the NHL franchise. But that being said, I just don't ever see that being a possibility.
No.
But to me, what I'm kind of sour about is it was just so fun, right? Like having the NCAA game, like that one came out first.
Yeah.
Then a month went by and you got the Madden. You could play, your season or whatever. Your team would, some of them would graduate. You can export it to Madden, so you're playing with the same people. It was a whole like double game experience going on. And now that's just for the moment gone. You only get Madden. Which is not a bad thing, but I, for one, always enjoyed the NCAA football game more than I did the NFL one. I don't know why. I just always did. But that was another just, a little gem of information. Like that was a big thing. It become a really big thing when NCAA was like, oh, you can move your roster now to Madden and you can draft them, you know.
Yeah.
And that was another high selling point of the game, believe it or not. But I think it'll come back. I think they just need to kind of work out the legal issues and see.
I'm still waiting on my NCAA lacrosse.
Yes.
Still another thing that'll never happen.
Women's lacrosse.
Yes, NCAA, all the things, golf.
All the things.
What else they got? Um,
Yeah, everything. Field hockey.
yeah, field hockey, water polo.
Water polo, awesome.
Swimming. Diving.
Equestrian team, yeah. I mean,
A lot of rowing. Like look at
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
Crew.
Yeah, crew.
The crew. Yeah, that's on in beta right now. The crew, right?
The crew.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, all those Olympic sports are pretty much what's the one where you have like all the water elements and it's running and stuff? It's crazy. They have it on
Steeplechase?
ridiculous. The steeplechase. Yeah.
Yes.
The steeplechase where they put it up on ridiculousness and
It is
you know,
such a silly
someone's
event.
freaking
That.
ankles are touching the back of their neck.
That needs to be a thing.
Steeplechase, yeah.
And you should be able to create your own athlete steeplechase runner.
Steeplechase.
Imagine the career mode in that game.
Decathlete.
Yes, it should be a thing. NCAA Ultimate Frisbee, make it happen, EA.
oh my god,
Make it happen.
I would play it.
Or how about
Apparently
NCAA?
they have that televised now on
Yeah.
CBS Sports Network.
Yeah,
What? Ultimate Frisbee?
Ultimate Frisbee. Collegiate Ultimate Frisbee.
NCAA disc golf, make it a thing.
We're gonna have like shuffleboard. We'll have flip cup. I mean,
No, what's
I was
the?
competitive in Flip Cup back in the day.
Yes.
I never went pro though.
NCAA cricket, maybe. Can it be a thing?
Big T.
there goes the da. I've heard da.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. That's actually why I was just saying random things right now to get him to do it. So yeah, probably a topic that we could probably talk about in another hour for, but
Yep.
just because there's so many angles to discuss on. But overall, should the game be a game? Yes or no?
Yes.
Just without
I like
thought.
that it exists. However,
Yeah.
I don't think until some things in the general discussion are rectified should it be released, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion.
Craig.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm not sold. I'm not, totally out on it.
All right. So now I'm gonna put you on the hot spot. I'm gonna put everybody on the hot spot without even thinking and going into any explanation. Yes or no? Should college athletes be paid?
No.
Yes.
Bill says no. Craig says
Yes.
panic.
No.
No. Oh man. So it's up to me to win it out or leave it as a tie. I'm gonna actually. You know what? The more I think about it, I'm gonna say no. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I can't elaborate because I made my own rules. All right. Um,
Yeah.
You wanted to.
I really did, but then I was like, nah, I'm not allowed. Um,
We gotta air this on Sports Center or something now.
where's my? I keep waiting for my because
Dun-dun-dun,
I
dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
kept I kept waiting for my Sports Center app to go off because it does that every time it gives me a thing.
Dun-dun-dun.
Does
We
it
got-
all day
We
and
got
night.
Indy winning right now on Monday Night Football.
Who's winning?
Indianapolis.
Oh, the Colts are playing.
Yep,
Who are they playing?
that's my team.
Who are
They
they?
are playing Philadelphia at 17-6 right now.
Got it. Um, all right. So the last topic we have for the evening is game genres. In a sense that nobody is really coming out with any innovation. They're just refining what's already there. So are we at a point to where we can't have a new game genre? Or are companies really just kind of being cautious with what they put out there and feel like they're producing a safe product to make money? Craig, what do you think about this?
What do I think? I think people are just putting, or I think game companies are putting way more different aspects into a game because they can. That's what I think. I think, they have the ability now to, you know, make games like Destiny that have like MMO aspects or whatever, or first person shooter, or, I mean, that it it's you can't really put it in this specific genre, but I mean other than the FPS, I guess. But I mean they put it in there to make it a more interactive experience. They want games to be more of a whole, and it makes sense because a lot of people play different games for different aspects. Like in Destiny, you could play PvP if you're into that. You like, I mean, most people play COD. They don't play the campaign. They play, domination. They play S&D. They play, team deathmatch, or they even play like either zombies or now they have, what is it, Extinction with the aliens.
Yeah.
So I mean that's another whole part of a game. You know what I mean? That people are just playing that part. They're either playing, just Extinction, or they're playing just zombies, or they're just playing, people will get that game just to play zombies, or they'll get the game just to play Extinction. They're not playing the other parts of the game. And I think it just makes sense for game developers to make a game like that has like different aspects, and that way you can play the game that you want to play, and you make it the game that you want to play, rather
Right.
than having, just that specific group of, diehards that want that certain experience. They make a whole bunch of different experiences, and then you can play the game the way you want to.
So, but it's still just like and I'm gonna play devil's advocate because it's like to me, like having all those quote unquote game modes. It still seems like safe because it's still the same game. They come out with a game and then they refine it because it's a new game, but it's not really innovative. And then they just put this game mode in and just to see what happens. Um, I don't. It just, to me personally, it just sounds and seems very safe. Be like, oh, we're gonna update the graphics a little bit on this game. We're gonna change a little thing. Maybe we'll throw this in to see what happens.
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel you the way you say it sounds safe, but I mean, the game companies look at it as just a way to make money. You know what I mean? They can sell you the different DLCs. They can sell you the different, um, maps to it, or special other stuff. So it's a different way to sell you different aspects of the game, I guess. I mean, you could say it's safe, but I mean, what they would call it is pretty much making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they reach a wider audience. I mean,
Right.
you're not just like a first person, hardcore, trick shot, sniper, quick scoper when you're playing zombies. That's not what appeals to people who play zombies. You know what I mean? So it's just very I mean, that's the way that they probably see it, is that they can appeal to people through, instead of buying a Left 4 Dead game, you could buy the DLC for, Black Ops 2 or Zombies or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I get it on the one hand, like it's an investment to make a game and you got to put forth all this money and they want their return. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the same time, it's just kind of everybody's just kind of being safe right now. They just want to refine what they have and not come out with something different. Although Destiny is kind of different,
Yeah.
but as a whole, gaming industry, it's more refining than trying to come up with something new. And maybe I want to see that from somebody. I don't know who it would be. Who would be bold enough to do that? Maybe somebody that can take that plunge and take a loss if it happens, like EA or Blizzard or somebody like this that could actually afford to take a loss and not crash the entire company.
Well,
Um,
unfortunately, the issue is that those that are backing the stockholders, they answer to them ultimately, and so I don't
Yeah.
know how many game developers, even the biggest ones, are looking to take a risk that big. I mean, they all do risk analysis basically before they even embark on one of these
Yeah.
development projects, and I think that probably has a lot to do with it. I mean, we've been doing the video game market for what is it now? Almost 30 years
Yeah.
since it kind of came to the consumer
yeah,
stage. And so these companies know what is going to make them money and what they can do each year to maximize their bottom line.
yeah. It's almost
Hey,
like
Scales.
it seems like the big game companies keep to what they know, and then indie gamers will come out with something different that's not so flashy in graphics, and they'll say, "Hey, that's doing good.
Yeah.
Why don't we buy that Minecraft?"
Well,
So
yeah, Minecraft. Well, I mean, some of them are, some of them aren't. I think we do have quite a bit of innovative developers going through, and a lot of the indie market as well. Like a lot of people are taking notice. Like Ubisoft has UbiArt, where they make Rayman. They make they made Child of Light, which is like a little indie game. I mean, it's an indie game esque, but it's made by a big time developer,
right,
Ubisoft. And then also Valiant Hearts was another one that could be considered indie game. With It's beautiful, it looks beautiful, it has an awesome storyline.
Yeah.
It definitely could be an indie game, but it's made by a big time developer.
right.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
Bill? What's your take on?
but it's like for me, it's like how many more different genres can you really come up with? I feel like they've got all the areas covered. I mean, what's going to be next? It's going to be like Survivor, Xbox 360 edition or something like that, or
Well,
like reality TV gaming or something. I don't know.
to my point, everybody's just kind of doing the same thing and not really trying to innovate the genre
Right, I understand that.
at all.
But and a lot of it has to do with, I mean, really, in order to innovate some of these and really, kind of change them up a bit, technology's got to change as well.
Sure.
And in order to, say maybe make games really, really, really interactive, almost, like, all right, get the virtual reality and,
Oculus.
incorporate into it. Yeah. That's just, some other things have to move along first in order for that to start to be incorporated, and but like as we were saying, like with Destiny, I mean that's incorporating quite a few things, and I think they've done a good job with that. And after now that game has come out, you're going to see more games start to do that like they did.
So, and I'll say, like, this has been in my mind before, and I'll just actually say it. when it comes on this topic. Like the idea of innovation to me would be a game like, and I know this would be extremely difficult to do from a programming standpoint and from an engine standpoint. But idea of like a really inventive thing would be like a GTA or a Saints Row, to where every aspect of the game, because it's becomes its own. So when you're in a car, it becomes like a driving simulator. Like you know,
Right.
it becomes like that racing game that it's only a racing game. And then when you jump out of the car and you're doing whatever you're doing, it turns into a first-person shooter. And now you're playing like COD or Battlefield or Ballfield, as Panic plays. Um,
Fulfilled.
so everything just adjusts on the fly, and I think that would be like, I know that it would be difficult from a programming standpoint, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
if that was a thing though, that would be amazing, I believe. And it would bring everybody, because now those games are fun. I like these games like this, but they're kind of limited because of the technology, like you said, Bill, and what can be done with what we have. But I really think like if a game like that was to come up, it would take over because it would pull in people, from the different genres to all unite and kind of play the same thing together. And even if it was like something like Payday, where it become that, and you had one dude that likes playing the racing games. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive the getaway car." It could be a real thing. And it could be specialized.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of like what I said earlier, like how people are making like games the way that they're making games so that people can play the way that they want to play it. So if they want to play someone who like a racing type game, or like they do have racing games, they have like tons of races in GTA 5. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's a perfect example right there. GTA 5 is a perfect example of a game that plays out so many different aspects. Because if you like cars, you're into cars, you want to race, you could race. If you want to, go rob whatever or play it more as a first-person shooter, then you're more than welcome to do that. It accommodates for that. So, I mean, that's a game that you definitely can make your own. Like when I play GT5, I play it different than everyone else plays it differently.
yeah.
I mean, I go out in the desert and I just fuck cars up. That's what I like to do, is drive around mountains, and you know that's like I have the best time, just flipping cars out in the desert on GTA 5.
Well, sometimes in games like that, it's fun just doing the random stuff too,
Yeah.
just going across the board, doing whatever. Um, Panic, what's your take on this, dude?
Well, this is definitely one aspect where, as I was saying earlier, I don't have that much expertise because it's not really been something that I've, been immersed in for all that long. The entire kind of gaming industry. It's something that I've kind of paid attention to a little bit, and I've kept up with the generations of the consoles, but really for the most part, as far as gaming in general, it's not my forte. But what I can see is the games that I have played over the years. One prime example being really the only game I would play every year, being NHL. Is what I've seen is they'll on each console they'll come out with basically a foundation. Basically through from '08 to 14, the NHL series was exactly the same. A little bit of a change here and there, but basically the same game packaged up each year, with some minor updates. What I can see now is even when there are incremental changes to the entire game, it's met with a lot of resistance, to be honest, from the gaming community. Prime example being NHL 15. They completely reworked the engine, and it's being met with a lot of skepticism. They did take out some pivotal game modes, that aside. Same thing with Advanced Warfare. There's a lot of skepticism about that because it is kind of a departure from what people are used to with the Call of Duty series, even though they've been asking for a different direction for a long time, is what it seems. When it actually comes to the forefront, people are hesitant for that type of change. So I think it keeps the major game developers kind of sticking to that status quo. And when they do make those larger leaps of faith as far as changes, um, it could come up a win, it could come up a flop, and like I said, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all business, and you got to take care of those shareholders. Otherwise, these games aren't getting made.
True story. But I've seen this. I haven't really played NHLs in a while, but I've seen you stream it, and it looks fun. Looks like a fun game to play. Although I have like I said, I haven't played an NHL game in a long time. But like the evolution of like Madden was a big one that I played a lot. And this is another game where they would make small changes. You know, they introduced the hit stick, and that was a big thing, and they kept it and moved on. And it seems like Madden would do almost like NHL. They would release like the same game, some changes, see if they work, and if they don't, the next year they're out of there and they try something different. Whatever's good, they keep.
Yeah.
You know, I can see that because, and honestly, it's when it comes down to it. Sorry, I just saw that in chat. When it comes down to it, what really can you do to a football game to make it more interesting if you're trying to play that realistic role and having an NFL game? But you know, people are liking. I'm still waiting for the mode where you can create your own plays. Like they used to have that a long time ago, and then they did away with it. I'm still waiting for that to come back. When that comes back, I'm going to pre-order the game. Make it
That's crazy.
EA, make it a thing. You used to do it. Yeah, you could create your own formations, and you can actually draw your own plays, offense and defense.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a lot of fun, and then they just got rid of it for some reason. It needs to be a thing again.
Another thing is, I mean, another issue is that, you know, at this point in the development game, people have chosen which, you know, franchises are going to be the forerunner, and there's not a lot of competition, to be honest, for a lot of games and a lot of developers.
Yeah, no. Well, see, but at the same time, here's where I think the technology of today, although, you know, we talked about it's probably limited to the gaming experiences and where you can take it. But at the same time, way back when, you couldn't do alpha and a beta and all kind of tests and get feedback from people to see what they like and whatever. Because you can have, I believe it would take time, but you can have a basis for a game and put things in there to see how they like, and they get feedback and they go, "Oh no, I don't like this at all." So then they change it, but you still have the basis of the game before it becomes like a final release. I think that's one of the things that they like. The only thing that really gets beta tested are like MMOs and like anything that can be played co-op. I don't think I've ever seen a beta test where it was like single player. I'm sure I have, but you just don't see them a whole lot. They seem to do beta tests for like server loads and making sure you know, aspects of the game work correctly, but they never use it for like a trial thing. Like, hey, we're going to try this in the game, play it, see what you think. You don't like it, we'll take it out. And I think that could be a thing, because still it's in the developmental stage. And, you know, you can develop something.
You saw that with Destiny. They just did server test loads. Like the very last day, they opened it up the beta to everybody. They're like, everybody, just come on in. Just like, let's see how much we can handle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of games do that, but I think you could like at least forge an idea during a beta test where you get the kind of idea where they're going, and they don't have to take a whole lot of resources and time to add. Because they don't have to do like a 100% finished product on it, but if you can, the players can kind of see the direction and going, okay, this might be cool, and then the company goes, okay, you know, keep it. But you just don't see that. Their focus is elsewhere, which I understand. They want to make sure like game triggers and you know stuff, programming is correct. But I've never seen really beta test on like features inside a game. I think that'd be cool. Maybe, I don't know. Bill, you're quiet, buddy.
Yeah, I'm taking everything in here. I think it's just kind of I don't know. But really, on that subject, there, it's kind of, as I was saying earlier, it's kind of when it comes to genres and stuff. As you were just saying, though, I mean, that would be very interesting to have some way you could beta test a particular mode within the game already. I think that would be something you could that is
Yeah,
very interesting, actually, and
I think
I would love to see how that goes.
I think it's just underutilized, and I think it could be a
Yeah.
thing. I think it could be a thing easily, actually.
Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, it says how many more, as we said, how many more genres can you really come up with? It's something that the games that are used to doing a certain genre need to incorporate different genres within the same type of game. And yeah, and I think that's the way they're going to have to go, because you really can't. There's not really too much more to go on
I mean,
when it
yeah.
comes to types.
I don't foresee like just a brand new genre stepping out from nowhere that something's nobody ever seen before. But like kind of like, and I'm gonna just go back because it's brand new. Like Destiny is like, to me, it's like a
Yeah.
MMO first person shooter thing, and it's crossovers really.
Right.
And I wouldn't mind seeing more of those. I don't know what you can cross over, but that's something different, man. I would like to see something different.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right about Destiny. It has gone that way, and it's proven to be a success so far, I think. And I think we're going to see more of that. And as you're saying about Advanced Warfare, it's people are knocking on it right now because it's out of the norm. It's different from the norm. It's something that no one has seen before from them, and people are just being really suspect of it. And I think don't knock it till you try it, as I said earlier. And I think they're trying to do something new, and I think they're taking a step forward, unlike a lot of other people,
Well,
like Destiny.
and here's the thing too. Like I get it. You can't make a game that like everybody is gonna like. So you try to make something that the masses can enjoy to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like I'm the one that always likes the outside the box stuff. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, when I'm streaming, I always play the games that are not very popular,
Mhm.
just because they're different. But I don't know. Just one time, I would like to see somebody step out of the box. One time, do something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, you know.
Right. I'm the same way. I like playing something that no one else is really playing. I don't always like to stick with the mainstream games, even though I do it a lot. There's games that I have on the PC that I don't really stream, that I like to always try. I always like to. I see something new on Steam all the time, and I'm like, what? Let me give this a try. Let me at least watch the trailer and see what it's all about. And kind of, because a lot of games like that people just overlook, and they're like, it's not very popular. Not a lot of people are downloading it. There's not a lot of reviews on it. And I like to give it the benefit of the doubt, really.
Um, well, S-Dubs just called me out. I was playing Sims 4 on my stream, but I had to play it just to play it. But
Right.
because I've always played those games, and honestly, when the Sims first came out, everybody thought it was ridiculous. Like you're playing a game about a person, and you have to tell them when to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh God.
but it turned out to be a thing, and it's like crack now. You can't get away from
Yeah.
it. You can't, because it's all in different forms, right? You got Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims University, Sims Pet, Sims Nightlife, Sim, all the things. And that's the way it is now. So they were smart in just releasing other forms of crack.
Exactly.
And that's all it was.
And EA, I think, is the best at that. You've got all of that Sims franchise, and in the sports franchises, they see where their moneymaker is with added content these days, and each of their major sports franchises are concentrating on the ultimate teams, which involved most players in inputting funds of their own and purchasing additional packs, and
Right.
that's a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
moneymaker for them, and they understand that, and that's where I think a huge amount of their attention is being spent.
So true, Panic.
Yes.
So true.
It's so true.
Them microtransactions, though.
Yeah, they all add up, man.
They really.
And we're like, oh, what, $3?
$3.
them.
Added.
We're living in the app generation.
$3 doesn't sound like a lot, but when
Yeah.
thousands of people do it, EA is like, how big is my wallet right now?
Get the Madden season pass right now for the same price as the game.
Yeah.
And shit, that's another big one too. You're getting all these games now. Well, I did get the expansion for Destiny for what, $35, $34, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they sold it in store. Well, I went to GameStop and I got the expansion. It's $37. What it was $37 worth of Microsoft points. So I downloaded. I redeemed the code for the points, and ended up getting the expansion for like $34.99 or something like that. So. And they said that you're getting a deal because soon it's going to be like $10 more than that. But I remember like when I get Call of Duty, you get all the expansions, but you're paying the same price as the game for the season pass, and that's a little bit ridiculous in my mind, especially if you're already paying for gold per year and all that as well. But
Yeah.
just getting off the subject here. But yeah,
That's a little thing. Ooh, you know what? I just thought about something. I'm going to counterpoint my own point. Y'all ready for this?
sure.
Ooh.
So, genres.
Whoa.
So genres that are not expanding. So all the things that we talked about, all the games that we talked about, are essentially an esport game, and people play these competitively for money. So if you take a new version of that and completely change it, the players are going to get pissed because now they have to start all over in developing their skills in that game. That could be a reason why they're kind of staying the same, because there are Madden tournaments, there are COD tournaments, there's all these different and people make their living off of playing some of these games, so they kind of, to a point now, they kind of some of those games have to kind of stay the same. So there's not too much innovation in there, so one person can go from one game to the next without a year off of practicing.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing too. Along with trying to be safe and not blow millions of dollars in pre-production and release.
Yeah.
And
I can definitely say though that when was it 989 became, I think it became 2K Sports, and 2K was releasing a counterpart for everything that EA was releasing back in like 04 to like 06 or something like that. There was a lot of wacky stuff by both developers put in there, like new things that would have never been put into those games because there was that competition. I think that if there was more competition for a lot of these developers, that you would see a little bit more innovation.
that's a good point, because when EA bought out the NFL license, it was over. Because 2K was actually putting out some decent NFL games right there towards the end. And they had a cheaper price point too. For the NFL games, so they were definitely. You're right. They were definitely trying to one up each other. And now that Madden is a standalone, they can just kind of keep making the same thing over and over. Update the rosters. Update the rosters. Update the uniforms. Whatever. Add one little thing to gameplay and kind of keep it the same. What is this link?
The best link.
Oh, the one I just
Oh yeah.
put? I was just wondering whose hair was longer.
Oh wow.
Or not. Let's see.
Like skater cut style, like, oh no, it's about the same. Well, I don't know. Oh,
Panic get cornrows, that will absolutely never happen. You can just bet on that one. So
That's awesome. I'm gonna favorite that and I'm gonna retweet it. Done.
Yup. I did the same.
my hair is longer than Panic's, but I definitely have more than him. Whoa.
That's funny.
Come by, he's got a full head of hair.
All right, so yeah, definitely some good discussions tonight. That is all the topics we have, guys. Like I said, if we didn't talk about anything that you want to hear, just tweet at us. We'll get it into the next show.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely want to thank Panic again for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. I definitely would love to
Are we gonna
be a part of
keep
this
going, or are we gonna
Oh
do
yeah.
10 more minutes, or no?
Where-
Are we gonna end?
We're just gonna start wrapping it up right here.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right.
Yeah, so guys, again, this will be on YouTube as a VOD. It should be up late tonight, early tomorrow, however you want to look at it. I will post the link on the page here on Twitch directly to it. There's also a link to the first episode if you missed that. The next vodcast will be basically at a mercy of everybody's schedule. So when we can all get together again, we will do it as soon as we can. And we will announce it as soon as we step up a date.
What do we got?
What happened?
No, I was just gonna refresh the stream because I was wondering how many. We're at 43 follows, but we have
Yeah.
18 people in chat. That's some
Yeah,
support right there.
Yeah.
We do appreciate everybody
That's-
hanging out.
That's some support.
You guys are awesome.
We do appreciate everybody hanging out. So we're gonna do this,
So,
like I said, as soon
Thank you.
as we
Yeah,
have a date for
everyone.
the 3rd, we'll let everybody know. One more shout out to Leader Dog too. Thank these guys for letting us use their music. Again, go check them out on Facebook. Let them know we sent you. And if everybody, Bill, you can start. If you want to do any shout outs, tell people where they can find you. Any other thing you want to say before we go? Now is your time, buddy.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, who? Which one?
We're like,
That's why I said Bill.
Hey, guys, hit me up on Twitter at Bill Buckner 1986. You can definitely hit up the stream as well at Bill Buckner 1986, guys, and feel free to drop in anytime. I'm always streaming either some Minecraft, Call of Duty, Destiny, lots of games. And as I say, guys, I put up straw polls often, and I get to kind of try to get those votes in and see what people want to see streamed. So definitely stop on by, guys, and hit that follow button.
Awesome. Craig?
all right, I'm the Craigatron. You guys can find me on Twitter. I'll just put it in chat. It's at Craigers 8355. No So it's Craigers at Craigers 8355. That's my Twitter account. The Craigatron here and Twitch, and also the Craigatron, the same thing on Hitbox, because I am starting to stream on Hitbox as well, like 50-50. So I'm back and forth. And I stream Minecraft, Destiny, Call of Duty. There's a ton of stuff that I've been streaming. All right. No, oh gosh, you guys in chat are awesome. Well, actually, you guys in chat are awesome. The fact that we have 20 people in here and only 43 follows, like the support from you guys is awesome. Like chat has been really cool tonight. Big support from you guys, so thank you guys so much, and also thank you, Panic.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Panic, if you want to tell the people where they can find you if they don't know, now's your time.
You guys are awesome. Thank you everyone for being here and listening to us with our banter on the interwebs. And thank you guys again for having me. I would definitely love to be a part of this again sometime soon. Um, Guys, I'm Panic. Panic Beats is the Twitch. Basically, you can find me streaming most ridiculous hours of the day, with hanging out with the Panic Nation. Basically, just having a good time with the family. Not doing a whole lot of fantastic gameplay, but having a lot of fun. But honestly, yeah, it's been great. Been great being a part of this, and definitely thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys, everyone from the Pan Fam, for coming on through and hanging out. You guys are the best.
Awesome. Well, Panic, we do appreciate you coming by, and you are welcome back anytime.
Yes, sir.
So I've said it once. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. My stream times are kind of irregular, but you can follow me on Twitter. I always announce when I do. Sometimes it's right at the moment when I get the urge or have the time. I will just announce and then go live immediately. I'm pretty much easy to find at Sulpus on Twitter, Sulpus on Twitch. You guys are very awesome for showing up tonight and supporting. We will do these as regular as we can. If you guys want any subjects to be talked about, just let us know, and we will definitely talk about them. Shout outs. I'm going to shout out anybody who was anything had to do with my 24-hour. I really appreciate all you guys coming in. Again, if you want something from me, don't worry. It will be coming your way. I've had a very busy week, but things are getting back to normal. I want to thank Panic again for stopping by. I'm going to thank Leader Dog again for the third time for letting us use their music, because they are a super cool group of guys. And I love you, Mom. I don't know.
Mama.
But yes, everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome. There will be VODs available tonight, early tomorrow, if you haven't, if you didn't catch the beginning. And there will be a link. The link to episode 1 is down below. You can follow that page, and that'll be the page that the VOD will be on for this one. Any last goodbyes?
Oh, sounds so
Well, all
fun.
you guys,
Yeah.
you guys have been fantastic tonight. We're at 21 viewers right now, you guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Please hit the follow if you haven't already. I'm hoping you have, and we will see you hopefully sooner than you think.
Yeah, definitely got to get it.
Most
going
definitely.
tomorrow.
And if you are not following these 3 other people, wait, which way? It goes like this. The 3 other people in these boxes, click them hot follows. Everybody, I'm sure everybody's going to go straight to streaming as soon as we get through with this, so you guys can hang out with everybody.
Oh, I'm gonna be lurking in other people's channels tonight.
You going to lurk, Craig?
Yeah,
Billy.
Gotcha. All right.
I'll probably be over in Panic's channel in a little bit.
Yeah,
And
Well,
Bill's.
thank you.
yeah.
And
I'll be
Billy's.
on. Yeah, I'll be on here. Yep, here in just a bit. Got to do a few things, but I will be on.
Very awesome.
All right.
Very awesome. Again, thank you, everybody that's been hanging out. And we will see you. Like I said, we will have a next episode planned as soon as we have a date. We will let you guys know.
Yep.
And we will see you as a group as soon as we can, and
Yes.
see you individually, like always. Thanks, guys. We are out for the night. If you guys will hang out on Skype for a couple seconds, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Later, everyone.
All right.